go with that telephone pole. That looks good. At the telephone pole.
Alright, welcome to Meadow Brook Golf Course. First swing of the day, I'm just going to pick a conservative target. Really try to feel as though my left elbow is staying connected as I move throughout the downswing.
It wasn't at the telephone pole, but
yeah, I pulled the I'll be okay though. I'll be okay.
yeah, you're right.
Unsurprisingly, my first drive is a pull, and it lands me in a little bit of trouble on the first hole. But thank God for Callaway Big Bertha clubs, because not only do they get up high, but they get up high fast. So I'm able to clear this tree with relative ease, but unfortunately it's just going to leave me just short of the green. When you're a single-digit handicap, everyone seems to assume that you're going to shoot in the 70s every time you tee it up. Unfortunately, and especially in my case, that couldn't be further from the truth. This is one of those rounds where I feel like the score I ended up shooting doesn't adequately reflect how well I thought I played. I struck the ball incredibly well, but you're about to see, especially when I get around the greens, the difference between a single-digit handicap golfer and a scratch golfer. So I put a good swing on that tee shot, but unfortunately I just don't feel comfortable going for this green in two. It's protected by bunkers going up the left-hand side, and long is completely dead. So I'm just going to hit a mid-iron to try and get myself into wedge distance. Wedges for me are typically the best part of my game. Not in terms of I'm super accurate with them, but more along the lines of I can hit a specific number when I feel that I need to. So if the pin is at 85 yards, I want something that's going to go around 80. Using a wedge matrix, I'm able to achieve this and give myself realistic birdie looks when I feel that I really need to go after one. And here we have the weakest part of my game, and if it wasn't abundantly clear after watching the first hole, you're really about to see it now. I'm using a Scotty Cameron Newport 2 blade putter. I've put the 40-gram weights in the bottom of it, and I've also put lead weights as well so that it feels more like a pendulum when I swing it. But no matter what I do, it just seems like this is routine for me. Since using swing tweaks, I'm finding it that it's a little bit easier for me to hit a draw, which I'm going to try and do for this hole right here.
Turn down and swing. Turn down and swing.
So by picking a conservative target, I'm able to get away with one right here. I meant to draw that around the corner, but instead I hit it dead straight, so I'm just going to be in the right side rough. So when I was living in North Carolina, a pro that I used to take lessons from highly recommended that anytime you're inside of wedge distance, you should be trying to hit a specific number. So utilizing a wedge matrix, I'm able to achieve this. I can hit it high, medium, or low depending on the position of the pin, and this is what I mean. So from the first example, the pin is up front, so I have a force carry over, so I'm going to try and use a sand wedge as best as I can so I can get it close, which is about to give me 100 yards. And the next example, the pin is in the middle, so I'm going to try and use a gap wedge so I can run it in just a little bit lower and get close to the pin. And then for the final example, the pin is all the way in the back, so that way I'm going to use a pitching wedge and try to run it in just a little bit lower and try to bounce it up or roll it up right up to the flag. So what I'm finding is by using a wedge matrix, I'm actually giving myself realistic looks at actually making a birdie. I'm not giving myself a 30, 40, 50 footer. I'm actually typically giving myself something inside of 20 feet and actually giving myself a higher probability of holing the putt. But unfortunately for me, just because I'm closer doesn't mean I'm going to hold the putt, which is something I really need to work on.
That's good.
That's good for me? Oh, thanks, buddy.
So, danger right and danger long on this mid-iron par 3. I should have teed up on the side of danger, but unfortunately, I just wanted to go with a little bit of a flatter lie. And I get lucky here. I should have paid the price, but end up pulling the tee shot, but it does clear past those trees, so I am going to have a look at getting up and down.
Do you come down? Sit, 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 sit. Oh my God. Holy cow.
In situations like this, I'm really just looking to get it onto the green, even though I thought I should have gotten that one a little bit closer. I'm just trying to take double bogey out of play, so that way I can just minimize a big blow-up score. Alright, one of the hardest holes on the course. Not in terms of it's a difficult tee shot, but more in terms of just the length of it. If you cut the corner just right, you can have a mid-iron in, but if you just hit it dead straight, you're looking at something close to 200 yards. So I get lucky here because I picked a conservative target. I didn't mean to leave the club face a little bit open, but it's going to work out. I'm going to give myself just a perfect 8-iron in. Ever since that swing tweaks lesson, I've been noticing that I've been hitting the ball much more consistently out of the center of the face. So with my pre-shot routine, I'm really just trying to feel connected with my left arm, making sure it's connected on the downswing. I managed to put a good swing on this one, and I'm just relieved that I actually have a makeable birdie putt on one of the hardest holes on the golf course. But just because it's makeable doesn't mean that I'm gonna make it.
Or not. Makes sense now.
Alright, par 3 coming up. Unfortunately, 145 is right in between clubs for me. I decided that going long is just too much of a danger, so I'm going to hit a 9-iron.
Right on it. Come on. Come on.
I like the feedback I get with these Friction Divide golf balls. If the line topples but it doesn't go in, I just had a bad line. But if the line just kind of tumbles and goes all over the place, then I know I hit a bad putt. Alright, so the only danger on this tee shot is just the bunker on the left-hand side. The bunker on the right-hand side is flyable, so I just elect to aim right at it and just kind of just swing for the hills.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's the best line. Oh, you're right.
So we're inside of wedge distance again, out of the rough with a carry over the bunker. So I'm going to take a high lofted club. It's going to come out with no spin, so I'm just going to open the face just a little bit and then bring my left arm back just a little bit further than I normally would for that same number. So we managed to find the green and have an outside look at birdie. But unfortunately, I feathered this one down the hill and I just don't get it close enough to the hole. So now I've got a knee-knocking 5 to 7 footer to try and save par. That's really going to expose the worst parts of my game. So we're 4 over through 7 holes with that second 3-putt. So now I have this visually intimidating tee shot ahead of me. All I'm really trying to do is pick a conservative target and put a good swing on it.
There you go. Proud of that drive.
So to get home in 2 shots, unfortunately it would have to be a 215, 220 yard shot. With danger long, danger left, and short-sided bunkers on the right, it just makes more sense for me to hit a mid-iron and give myself a wedge distance in. So trying to rely on the strengths of my game, I found myself 105 yards out to the pin. Looking at my wedge matrix, I pick a club and I just try to put a good swing on it.
Nice birdie. Thank you. All right, it definitely wasn't inside right. Ball's above you, so you're gonna choke up. Feet are gonna be closer together. Left arm stays connected, and go. Left arm stays connected, and go.
So I've always been visually intimidated by this tee shot. There's bunkers riddled up the left-hand side, and the landing zone's only about 15 yards across. So I'm gonna try and make a defensive swing and just hold the club face as square as I can. But just because I pick a conservative target, unfortunately, she gets in my head.
Man.
So it's not a fairway in regulation, but it is a fairway, so I do have a clean lie. Thank God for Callaway Big Berthas, because I am able to get this ball up relatively quickly and clear these trees, so even give myself a look at getting on the green. I came up a little short, so we're a little short-sided. All I'm really thinking is just get it on the green and try to minimize the chance of getting a double bogey.
Sit, baby, sit, baby, sit. Oh, for the love of God. Hate my life and everyone in it. Right center of the green.
So there's a water hazard front, on the left-hand side, and along the back side of the green. The only bailout area is short right. Unfortunately, it's also into the wind, and I'm in between clubs. Just stepping over this, I really don't feel comfortable, so I'm just trying to put the most defensive swing I can on it.
Yeah, I failed on it, but it's safe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you kind of hucked it.
So because of the bailout, I've given myself 3-putt territory. I have a right to left breaker going up and over a rise and then back down the hill, so I'm hoping I just get her close. So we're 4 over through 10 holes with an outside chance of keeping it under 80. Unfortunately for me, on this hole, I have a very checkered history.
Kyle, this is draw. This is neutral. This is fade. I want neutral. Neutral, just like that.
Kyle! No! Get down, please. Like that.
So this time, the positive swing thoughts paid off, and we're able to find the fairway. So we're rewarded with a short iron going into a middle pin position. The danger is long, right, and short right, but I feel very comfortable hitting a 9 iron. Unfortunately for me, I'm starting to get a little bit tired, so my left arm is going to become just a little bit disconnected, and I end up pulling it.
Kyle. God damn it. Sit.
So here we are, short-sided, long of the green, in the rough, coming out with no spin, chipping onto a downslope.
Sit, 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 sit. Oh my God, sit. Turn. Oh my God.
After failing to get up and down for the 4th time today, and we're now 5 over par, heading into one of the easiest par 5s on the course, I'm really not in the best mental headspace. It's downwind, and the only danger is on the right-hand side. Even though I pick a conservative target, because I have these negative mental thoughts, I don't end up putting a good swing on this one.
Oh, you hit it so heely. Sit, 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 sit. Sit.
So now we're in jail, and unfortunately for me, I just do not spend enough time on the range hitting these types of shots. So hopefully second time's a charm. I've got about 240 yards in, so I can't reach, but I do have to take an abbreviated swing with my 3-wood to try and get it at least close. So we are short-sided, but I am chipping uphill with an uphill lie, so I'm going to try and be really aggressive with this one. Alright, so pretty wide open on this hole. You can miss on the right and you can miss on the left just as long as you avoid the bunkers. Typically it's playing into the wind, and I don't really take this into account. My bunker game is not that great, so I'm really trying to do is just fly the bunker on the left and center.
God. Did I mention my bunker game is complete and total bollocks? Like, it's so bad.
So I'm staring at the front end of this ball, really trying to feel as though I'm swinging down so I can flush the ball perfectly. Unfortunately, I am known for hitting these way too fat, so I choke up way too much. So here we are, short-sided again, trying to get up and down to salvage a par. Unfortunately for me, the putting woes are going to continue. So we're +7 through 13 holes now. I have to par out to keep it under 80 strokes. Taking driver on this hole brings these left trees into play, so I'm really going to try and make a defensive swing.
Stay closed, left elbow stays attached. Elbow stays attached.
After putting a good swing on it, I'm rewarded by finding the fairway. I have a 9-iron coming into this green, and there's danger long. Typically, if it's an uphill lie, I would take one more club, but because I have a fear of going long, I'm just going to play the exact number. With an outside look at birdie, I'm in full desperation mode. I really need to get this one to drop so I can take the pressure off.
Oh, come on!
Alright. I've never parred this hole in my life, and we're going to do it today. It's going to be the most defensive swing ever.
So if you couldn't tell, this par 5 lives rent-free in my head. I've never parred this hole in my entire life, and I'd really like to do it today. If you miss right, you're probably going to be in the trees, and it also slopes downhill, so it's completely dead. If you miss left, you're also in the trees, so we're really just going right through the gauntlet.
Just hang for me. Might be a stupid play, we'll see.
Continuing to play defensive, I like to take a 4-iron punch stinger to try and advance it to get myself into wedge distance. Completely relieved by making it through the gauntlet unscathed. Now I've got a wedge in my hands, and I'm really trying to get this one close.
Sit, sit, sit.
But unfortunately, because I'm nervous, I'm starting to swing harder than I normally would, giving myself an outside chance at a birdie. So I managed to get that monkey off my back and finally par my nemesis hole. So there's 3 holes to play. All I have to do is par out, and I'll keep it under 80. But an errant tee shot on this medium-sized par 4 is really not going to help my chances.
Get lucky.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and I'm just so relieved to have gotten lucky, and I found my ball with no tree trouble. I'm a little bit further away from the green than I would have liked, so we're going to take a mid-iron to this green out of the rough. So we've managed to find the green after that errant tee shot, and I'm just so relieved that I actually have a putt at birdie. But unfortunately, because I'm so nervous, these end up getting away from me, and I end up doing the unthinkable. With my third 3-putt of the day, I'm now +8 with 2 holes to go, and I'm in desperate need of a birdie.
Oh, cooked it. Peace.
So we're short-sided, chipping onto a downslope. This time, I elect to chip it into the rough to try and slow it down. So we finally get a par save to fall, and now we're heading into 18 with driver in hand, even though it brings the water on the left-hand side into play. I desperately need a birdie.
A little bit up in your stance. Give me 1 yard. Give me 1 yard. 1 yard. Come on.
So I pulled my tee shot about 10 yards off its intended line, and I found the water. So I'm gonna have to take a drop, and there goes all my hopes of breaking 80 today.
What a complete meltdown. Like an absolutely complete meltdown on the 18th. That is so bad. Oh my god.
When it rains, it pours, it seems. And unfortunately, this round is really showing me, based on chipping and putting, what is really holding me back from actually getting to scratch golf.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So as I've said in the previous video, seldom there is a silver bullet when it comes to golf. You can't just make one change and expect to have red numbers just flooding out everywhere. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It takes a lot of grind and determination, and I have a lot of work to do if I'm ever going to bridge that gap. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.
You just witnessed a meltdown, sir. You just witnessed an epic meltdown right there. Wow. You had front row seats to that.
Nice shot, man. It's glowing in the light. Get up there. Keep coming. Keep coming. Dude, you're crushing that thing right now.